Welcome to Neo Royal, House of Pricey Cardboard. Voted by Twitter and YouTube, I present to you today my match with Cole, Fitz, and Chain of Commander. If your favorite wasn't picked, don't worry, I'll probably edit most of them at some point. We now have a TCG player affiliate link. If you're shopping for cards, make sure to use the link in the description to support the channel. I will now also upload deck lists for each episode up there, so you will get the specific episode's version of the deck. Now let's talk about our guest and what they brought to the match. Cole, host of the Uncommon Commander podcast, is playing Jerren, Corrupted Bishop. It's somewhat of a themed tribal list, trying to summon the baddest demons to ever visit the multiverse. In addition to the commander, who is pretty hard to flip, we have the original version of Ormendahl and Old Bruce the Binding Blade. Chain, host of the Chain of Commander YouTube channel, is playing his Tuvasa the Sunlit list. We had this deck on the channel a long time ago on episode 24. It's a pretty standard Enchantress brew with an Aura Thief and Enchanted Evening combo in there. As for Fitz, host of the Arena of the Ancients, he is playing his Gyrus, Waker of Corpses. Working really hard to make this Jun Reanimator Hydra work, Fitz is running cards to mill himself, sack outlets, and a couple of really cool techs like Rift Sweepers to go around his commander's downsides. For myself, I'm playing my partner pair of Tymna the Weaver and vialsmasher the Fierce. This is essentially a Kaalia deck with a focus on angels and demons, trying to close the game with burn and combat damage. Thank you to our Patreons for supporting the show. All our members get early access to the main YouTube content as well as exclusive gameplays. A special thank you to our new patron, Ryan. Cole gets to start this off. An end drops a swamp. An end drops an exotic art shard, while Chain end drops a flooded strand. He cracks it for a tundra.
Chain's gonna fucking stomp the shit out of us with that deck, I bet.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
I have a Tuvasa deck and it's pretty scary, so I'm pretty scared.
Fitz then drops a Cracked Crown Pathway, using it to cast Faithless Looting. He discards Massacre Worm and Verdurous Gearhulk. Cole then drops a Swamp. He casts a Dark Ritual, using the mana to cast his commander, Jerren, Corrupted Bishop.
Let us raise our voices to our savior, Ormendahl.
Losing a life on ETB to create a human token. I land up a Rugged Prairie and cast King Duelist. Chain land drops a Snow-Covered Forest, while Fitz land drops a Rockfall Vial. Cole land drops If Near Deadlands. He goes to combat, sending Jerren and the token to Chain. In second main, he casts Grim Aruspects. At my upkeep, I pick Cole for the Duelist trigger. He reveals a Feed the Swarm, while I reveal a Dragon Skull Summit. I let drop a Plains and cast one of my partners, Tymna the Weaver. Heading into combat, I send the Duelist to Fitz. I then lose a life to Tymna to draw in second main. Chain land drops a Snow-Covered Plains and cast his commander, Tuvasa the Sunlit.
My people have always been here, and here we shall remain.
Fitz then drops Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, and casts Spring Bloom Druid. He sacks the pathway for 2 swamps. Cole then drops a Reliquary Tower. He casts Keskit, the Flesh Sculptor, and pass. At my upkeep, I pick Fitz with the Duelist.
Top card is
9.
I almost win this.
I'll take 4. 33.
That's also the second time I've seen Blast Massacre use off that card tonight.
History's repeating itself.
Yes. Strong deja vu.
3, 4.
Phil was actually in that game today. He just had no idea.
His he does a phenomenal British accent then.
I'm so bad at accents. The only thing my accents are good for is like offend people, I guess. I start with combat. Tymna goes to Fitz, who blocks with Spring Bloom, and the Duelist goes to Chain. I missed the lifelink on Tymna for this attack. In second main, I land drop a Mana Confluence and cast Greed. Chain land drops a Waterlogged Grove, setting up some more, he casts Missa Enchantress. Fitz land drops his own exotic orchard, and casts his commander, Gyrus, Waker of Corpses. Cole land drops a Memorial to Folly, and casts Mogus's Marauder, granting haste and intimidate to his non-tokens. Going to combat, Grima Specs attacks me while Jerren attacks Chain. At my upkeep, I pick Cole with the Duelist. We reveal a Swamp and an Arcane Signet. I then go to combat, sending both creatures to Chain. In second main, I draw and cast Arcane Signet. I land drop an Orza of Basilica, returning a land to hand, and then cast my second partner, Vialsmasher the Fierce.
Watch out, watch out!
On his turn, Chain casts Ghostly Prison. He draws 2 cards and land drops a Tropical Island, following it up with the Herald of the Pantheon. Fitz land drops a Sulphurous Spring, and casts Wood Elves, getting a Stomping Ground tapped on ETB.
That's cool, now I can tap my pain land for a green and not take damage.
Yeah, you already could. But yeah, on turn 3.
Missed it.
But I didn't even need to take the 1 damage off of that. How about that?
No, fuck you, Chain. Fuck you, Chain. Want everyone to stay calm. No need to panic. I'm playing Alter Dementia.
Yeah, okay. No.
Chill.
I mean, I know why, I get it, but also, like, I don't know about that.
He heads into combat, sending Gyrus to me. On attack, Fitz exiled the Verdurous Gearhold from his graveyard to get a tapped and attacking token version. It puts more counters on Gyrus and is attacking Cole. Reacting to attackers, Cole activates Keskit, sacrificing Jerren, the Human, and the Marauder. He draws 2 from the Grima Respect and then resolves the Keskit effect, putting a Swamp in the bin. He then takes 4 while I chump block with Vialsmasher. Before the end of combat, Fitz sacrifices the Gearhold to mill 4.
What? That's crazy.
Beast Within, Elemental Bond, Nature's Lore. That sucked.
Cole then drops a Swamp, and casts Tivash Gloom Summoner. Chipping away, the Grima Specs attacks me. At my upkeep, I pick Fitz with the Duelist. We reveal Living Death and Wound Reflection. I land drop the Rugged Prairie again and head into combat. I send Tymna and the Duelist to Fitz. He blocks with Wood Elves and sacrifices it before damage to prevent lifelink. Tymna triggers for 1 in second main.
Blasphemous Axe.
Yeah, I got
no response here.
I'm good to go here.
Fitz sacrifices Gyrus to mill himself, and Cole draws 2 from dead triggers. And then casts Liesa, Shroud of Dusk, and pass. Chain casts Court of Grace, becoming the Monarch. Fitz land drops Volrath's Stronghold and casts Living Death. We all get a couple of creatures, but Fitz's Massacre Worm makes this a lot more one-sided. Fitz also gets Wood Elves and Spring Blooms GTB once more.
Just try not to later kill myself with Hermit Druid. Not the first time I've had this problem, I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what, boy.
I got pretty greedy with the mana base.
The Seasoned Pyromancer allows Fitz to rummage and make 2 elementals. Cole land drops a Temple of the False God. He boldly casts Feed the Swarm on the Massacre Worm. He then, a bit out of order, casts Harvester of Souls. Going to combat, Tivash deals me 4 damage. The life is then spent at the end step to create a 4/4 demon token. I land drop a Sulphurous Spring and cast Bruna the Fading Light, bringing back Liesa with a cast trigger.
Double Angels. And that's
Double Angels all the way.
All the way.
Chain is still the Monarch, so he gets an Angel at the upkeep. He casts Calyx, Destiny's Hand, using the +1 to put planar collabs to hand. At the end step, Fitz uses Vrolrat's Stronghold to put Massacre Worm on top of his deck, drawing it for turn. He recasts Massacre Worm, and once it's on the battlefield, he casts Gyrus Uprising, drawing on ETB. He then drops a Shizo Death Storehouse and pass. Cole then drops a Swamp, and replays his commander. He loses 1 on ETB to make a human token. He then casts Plague Crafter.
I'm gonna sacrifice this. I can sacrifice a planeswalker, right?
Yeah, it's a planeswalker or a creature, yeah.
Right,
so
Alex, you didn't do jack shit.
I'll lose it.
For his combat step, the 4/4 Demon and Tuvasa go to Fitz, who blocks with Massacre Worm. I draw with Greed at the end step, and Cole discards to end size, passing. On my turn, I go straight to combat, sending Liesa to Fitz. In second main, I cast Gilded Lotus and pass. At Chain's Upkeep, he gets an Angel. He then casts Smothering Tide, moving straight to end step, drawing for Monarch. At the end step as well, Fitz sacrifices Massacre Worm to mill himself.
Are you gonna pay 2?
No.
Nice. That's pretty cash money of you.
The very first card I milled was probably the best card I could have drawn.
Fitz casts Eternal Witness. He returns to hand and then casts Plague Crafter. Fitz then land drops a Rootbound Crag, casts a Soul Ring, and recasts Gyrus as a 5/5. He goes to combat, sending his 3 creatures to me.
Fuck you, Phil. 4 damage.
Cole then drops a Swamp. He then casts Dark Petition with Spell Mastery, followed by Demonic Embrace, enchanting Jerren.
I will send the Flying Demon token over at Fitz. And I'm gonna send everything else at Phil.
Man, I'm up to 2 secret layers tonight. That's rough.
That's rough. Phil, you got any responses?
Yes, we'll see if Chain is a counter spell, I guess. 5 for Ink Shield.
Ooh.
I'm gonna sack 2 treasures.
No.
That's exactly counter for spell.
Exactly. 1, 2.
Alright, I'm dead.
Before damage, Cole activates Jerren to gain lifelink, but Chain has another reaction, using Cyclonic Rift on the bishop.
Well, rude. Alright.
You're not dead.
I'm not dead.
Well,
How much do I take?
Phil, you're at 1.
Ah, I'll take it.
I take 7 and Fitz is out. In second main, Cole recasts Jerren and pass. I cast Mythos of Snapdax, paying the full colors to pick the permanents. I then cast Talisman of Conviction and follow it up with the other Liesa, Forgotten Archangel. Chain gets an Angel at the upkeep, and land drops a Windswept Heath, cracking it for a Savannah. He casts Replenish, getting back what he just lost plus Leyline of Sanctity and Opalescence, turning his enchantments into creatures. Heading into combat, the Court and the Angel come to me. I block with Liesa and survive because of lifelink. In second main, Chain casts Karmic Justice and pass. Cole pays for Smothering Tide and land drops a Swamp. He casts Gilded Lotus, followed by Kindred Dominance, naming humans.
Don't kill me, Cole! Don't kill me! No!
Well, the thing is,
I guess.
Kill him. Strike him down with all your hatred.
With your pumpkin.
now doesn't
Finishing the job, he sends a Pumpkin Man my way. Chain land drops another snow-covered forest and recasts Tuvasa. He then casts Planar Collapse. Cole casts Mind Stone, followed by Malicious Affliction to destroy Tuvasa. He then casts Bolas Citadel, and follows it up with Persist, returning the Harvester of Souls with a -1/-1 counter. After that, he casts Disciple of Gristlebrand, and goes to combat, sending the Pumpkin Man to Chain. Chain land drops an Allowed Fountain tapped. He casts Iliad, God of the Sun, passing. Cole land drops a Swamp and casts Vampiric Rites for a life from the top of his library. Using the Citadel again, he casts Buntu's Monument. He casts Doom Necromancer from his hand, joining Chain for 1. He casts Disciple of Bolas, sacrificing the human token on ETB. Heading into combat once more, he sends the Disciple and the Harvester to Chain. At Chain's upkeep, the planar collapse triggers. Cole activates his Disciple to gain 4 life. With the board wiped, Chain attempts to pass, but at the end step, Cole casts a Wretched Confluence.
Wretched Confluence, draw 3 cards, lose 3 life.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you draw 3 cards and lose 3 life.
Oh, okay.
Cole untaps and casts Endrexar, Master Breeder from the top of his library. He casts Reaper from the Abyss, and gets 6 Trolls, sacrificing 1 to the Vampiric Rite to draw a card. He finds a creature on top of his deck, Whisper Blood Liturgist, casting it for the win. Well played. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Make sure to check out all our guests on their respective shows, be it Spotify, YouTube or Twitch. Take care and we'll see you very soon.